All right, y'all. It's 8:01. Um, we're gonna have a very interesting show today. I'm gonna light my 305 candle because I'm going to need the spirit of the ancestors and all the crunk Miami hoes and the ex drug dealer girlfriends and everybody who used to sell punani and the poke and bean projects all across Care City. Anybody who ever went with a drug dealer, anybody grandma who used to steal furniture out of bad cop, anybody who used to do the doodle brown at the canned food dance in elementary school, I'm gonna need all of those people. I'm gonna even put this little beaded bracelet around my arm today because I'm gonna need all these people's spirits to give me what I need today, guys. Today, mentally, it was not a good day. It was another one of those days where I was stuck in the bed all day. Today was my first day of school. I paid, I got another business venture that I'm partaking in, and it was a $5,000 investment. And today was the first day of class, and slept right through it. I mean, completely forgot that class started today. It's a lot going on. We're gonna die on a couple hills tonight. We're gonna touch on some very interesting stories tonight. And at the end of the day, one or two things is gonna happen. We gonna come back tomorrow and all be family, or some people gonna fall off and not be family no more. And we gonna tighten up the family. And it is, listen, like Glorilla said, at the end of the day gonna end. Okay. That's one thing for sure. At the end of the day gonna end. So, there was a lot of y'all who didn't even want me to bring up um the Dr. Heavenly thing again or whatever. But I'm actually going to bring it up because it's been bothering me. Uh it has been bothering me. It's been bothering me for the last 24 hours. And so, um as a result of Dr. Heavenly's comments, you guys can go back and find them in reference to gay men not being real men or whatever. And she didn't mean it like that. And listen, in being friends with Dr. Heavenly, she's made comments like that before, in my face. She's made comments like, oh, if a man called me a bitch, my husband would probably fight, but he probably wouldn't even get mad if one of the gay boys did it or whatever, because it's not the same. He don't look at you like y'all not like a real man or whatever the case may be. Look at it sideways, keep it moving, choose to address it and fix it, keep it moving, whatever the case may be. And I wrote the comment because everybody's blowing my phone up, and I wrote, "Do y'all now see why I don't fool up with fish too heavy?" That was my comment. Do y'all now see why I don't fool up with fish too heavy? Then my comment was, what Heavenly said is how most of y'all feel. My text messages have been going off all night, people wanting to know what I think. Here is what I think. I have learned how to navigate the world being considered less than a man since the third grade. Honestly, I have no real reaction. It's another day at the office for me. Unfortunately, especially in the Black community, this is a shared thought by the majority. I can upset my makeup and disturb my tears about a belief that won't change in this lifetime, or I can keep scrolling through Uber Eats. Uber Eats it is. These are my official thoughts, so y'all can stop asking and tagging me. And yes, I will still be her friend the same way I'm friends with the rest of y'all and y'all closeted beliefs about gay men. It is par for the course. Um, and here is the thing. I stand by my comments 400 times. I double down on my comments 400 times. And y'all just gonna have to get into it, because let me first acknowledge that, and I hate that we live in a world where every time you talk about something, you have to say some, not all. Some, not all. Some, not all. Okay. And listen, I know that when I use the word fish in my captions sometimes, that it upsets some of y'all and it tap dance on some of y'all nerves. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I do it on purpose lots of times. But I also want you to understand that when I make comments, and see, Melissa, you put the perfect comment. We are all being judged and critiqued. Black women. Oh, no, Melissa, you got a good comment, not you. No, you got a good comment. What I want y'all to understand sometimes is that number one, if it don't apply, let it fly. And number two, truthfully speaking, in this moment, I'm not talking to y'all. In this moment, I am not talking to y'all. I am not talking to women. I am not talking to Black women. In this moment, I am talking to my gay boys. And I think what a lot of y'all fail to realize is that I am a gay boy first. Okay? I'm a gay boy first. I like the fact that y'all like coming over here, playing in my front yard. I respect the fact that y'all like to play in my treehouse and eat my snacks. But at the very end of the day, I am a gay boy first. And I have a different experience on this planet than Black women, than Black men. I am talking to my gay boys when I say things like, you need to watch out for fish. Okay? And I understand all of y'all don't think that way. But what you're not going to get me to believe is that all 6,124 of y'all who are on this chat right now, you're not going to gaslight me into believing that all of y'all are here for gay people and all of y'all support gay people. The overwhelming majority of y'all watch me and will still look me in my face and say things like, love the sinner, not the sin. I love the sinner, not the sin. Now, what type of backhanded shit is that? Okay. And then there is this expectation, I guess. Let me back up. Let me first take responsibility. The first thing is, I probably just shouldn't have even said nothing publicly about the heavenly thing. And my life would probably be a hell of a lot more peaceful right now. So I'll eat that. I will eat that. I probably just shouldn't have said nothing. This wouldn't even been nothing. But the point that I want y'all to understand, even if it's not you, it's the bitch next to you. Okay? Y'all are not going to sit here and gaslight me into believing that when y'all are not in all female spaces, when y'all are not in the hair salon, when y'all are not at the bridal shower in the background, that the homophobic shit don't be going around. All right? And that when that girl over there gets mad when she's telling the story, we become every punk, faggot, and sissy in the book. All right? And you're not going to gaslight me into believing that when it happens, that you put your cape on every single time and you run around the hair salon educating people. No, you sit your ass there with your legs crossed. You keep reading your Ebony magazine and you wait for Shanika to call you to get your hair washed. The reality of the situation, guys, is whether you like it or not, whether some of y'all agree with it or not, whether some of y'all are the biggest allies of the community or not, there still is a large portion of people who are not. And one thing that bothers me about the female gender sometimes is y'all walk around and act like y'all carry the only license to pain and the only license to be able to vent. The same way y'all are able to stand up on platforms and say things like, y'all say things to y'all community all the time. Case in point, oh, if y'all see a bunch of men standing across the street at night, walk across the other side of the street because it ain't safe. Y'all don't see the male collective getting mad and getting up in arms or whatever the situation is, because it's the truth. All right? Listen, when I'm talking to my gay boys, I'm talking to my gay boys. And gay boys, y'all need to be careful of fish, okay? Because all them hoes ain't your friends, all right? And the overwhelming majority of them hoes, they want you to be their boyfriends, they husbands, they baby daddies, lick their wounds when these men out here treating them wrong. They want you to be their sounding board. They want you to listen to everything that's going on in their life, all right? Listen to all their woes, don't know nothing about yours, okay? And then the minute they get back in good graces with that Negro, or they get back in good graces with their good home girl, your ass is shitted on and pushed back to the side, all right? That may offend some of y'all. That's our experience with y'all. Some, not all. Some, not all. Some, not all. But that's our experience. All right? So, like I said in my post, I have learned to navigate being considered less than since the 3rd grade. If I was to X out everybody in my life that had that belief system, if my gay boys were to X out everybody in their life that think that way, we'd have no family and we'd have no friends. I'd have no grandmother. I'd have no mama. Okay, I'd have no uncle, them cousins over there. We'd have no friends. We would have no friends. All my devout Christians, we'd have no friends. So I mean what I say when I said I have learned how to navigate things. Y'all may not understand it, and you don't have to understand it. Okay? But this then, wanted me to get up and cuss her out and put her in her place, then I would have to do it. 7,000 of y'all on here. I promise you, I'd have to X out 5,000 of y'all as well, who sit back and have the same closeted beliefs. And y'all do. Y'all do. I'm okay with gay people. I don't want my son to be one. How many of y'all sit up and watch me and key and all of that, and y'all would beat the shit out of y'all son if he came home and was me? So nah, bitch, you ain't finna gaslight me into believing that. You ain't finna, y'all hoes ain't finna gaslight me into believing. And Ashley, you say it's ignorant, and it can be. Turn me off. Turn the page. It's my/our experience. It is. Now, I will say this. I thank you, and I acknowledge those of y'all who are true allies. I do. I do. I do. I do. And I am going to learn to try to lean on y'all a little more than. But it's the same thing that Muhammad Ali said about white people and snakes. All right. He said, if I'm standing somewhere and I see a bunch of rattlesnakes coming towards me, okay, am I going to stand there hoping that one or two or three don't bite me? Or am I going to run because I know rattlesnakes bite? It's the same thing, guys. Yes, yes, yes. I acknowledge that there are a lot of y'all who are true allies, so on and so forth. But me and my gay boys cannot go out in this world, navigating the world like the collective, like the female collective is a safe space for us, because it isn't. And it's not to invalidate those of y'all who support and those of y'all who are true allies, but the collective is not a safe space for us. That's that on that. I hope some of y'all understand. Some of you don't. And if you don't, to hell with you. What other B I got up my damn bonnet tonight? All right. Let's move on. Joy Ann Reid. Joy Ann Reid, y'all, her show got canceled down to the MSNBC, and Joy is not taking it well. Take a look.
My show had value, and that, I'm sorry, that that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. And that it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you. Where I land is that the moment of guilt that I felt, that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted and not just Black folks, or went hard for immigrants who've done nothing but come to this country. My show had value, and that done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life and defended them. Or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution, that is injurious to our.
All right, guys. So this gets a little lengthy. And as a result of Joy going off the air, I'm going to share some of my personal network business with y'all. First and foremost, I hate that this happened for Joy. I hate that she's experiencing what she's experiencing. You know, this country, elections have consequences. You've got, you know, unfortunately, just from the conversations that I have been having with a lot of my friends who are in these big corporate spaces. I have friends in HR at Target, friends in HR at Walmart. I have friends who have said to me that their companies, from a cultural perspective, do not believe in a lot of what is going on, but they are fearful of retaliation, fearful of not being in line with the powers that be, not trying to get kicked out of the club. All right. Everybody wants to stay. Everybody, this is the first president that we have had that is as vindictive as he is. And so people are scared and are doing things and are moving accordingly. Now, no one has come out and say, oh, she's been let go because of the Trump stuff and the DEI pushback and Elon Musk and all of these different things. But it is reasonable for one to deduce that that is a factor in her show being canceled. It's reasonable to assume that. Joy, you know, the only thing that I can offer you, and I will say, and those of us who've been internet girls for the longest while, they will come back and confirm this for you. First thing first, Joy, the internet girls are making more money than the TV girls, especially the cable TV girls. The internet girl, excuse me. When it comes to your livelihood, the internet girls are making way more money than the cable TV girls. That's number one. So don't fret, Joy. Your income will be okay. Number two, you have built a solid audience over the years, okay? Your people will follow you. And I know that being fired always hurts. And I know people who have always worked for a every 2-week paycheck, they feel insecure when they don't have employment. I understand all of that. But I want to tell you something, Joy, if I can offer you this. The grass really is greener on this side. The grass really is greener on this side. It is. Joy, I want you to pick up the pieces, flesh out your show, and continue to do it from the comfort of your home or a studio that you build out. Hire one of your producers, let them do your stories, and then you can really, since you say your voice has value, your value is about to be amplified, because while you sitting over there on them white people network, you really still couldn't say all that you wanted to say. But on this side of the aisle, you can say everything that you want to say. I'm going to tell y'all something. These network TV, it just ain't what it used to be. These networks, I'm going to share something with y'all that's some time ago that I was like, it ain't worth sharing. Shortly after I departed from Fox Soul, the week that they gave Claudia Al and Armand their cancellation, they called me back. Okay. They called me back and they sent me an email and they said, time is of the essence. We need you to put a pitch together really quickly for a one-person show that will take over TGIF and be in the 8 o'clock spot. All right. I put the pitch together. I sent it over to them. Didn't hear anything back from them. And then bam, Truth Talks appears on the TV. Truth Talks appears on the TV with Dr. Cheyenne Bryan, Willie Moore Jr., Ryan Cameron, and the other young lady. I didn't know her name. Okay, so I said, oh, looky. Oh, looky. That, well, they asked me for a pitch, but they decided to go with Truth Talks. Shouts out to those people. And I found that out after I went to Dish Nation to do Dish Nation, and they were filming it out of Dish Nation. Okay. So Truth Talks is going on, and Truth Talks doesn't perform. Fox Soul calls me back. The president of the network comes to Atlanta. We go to lunch, puts a bug in my ear, sit back, I'm waiting. They call me back. We take a meeting, pitch the show. Fox Soul gives me a $1.5 million budget. Here's all my notes. It was been sitting on my desk for the longest. $1.5 million budget. Here's the budget right here. $1.5 million budget to bring the Quentin Latham Funky Dneva show back to the Fox Soul platform. And we had an air date. We had a date that the show was supposed to air and everything. Got down to the budget. got down to the salary line, and the salary was the same salary that I had walked away from. And I don't know, in what world, when you are a show of 3 and you leave that show of 3 because of one salary, you get called back to do a show of 1 and expected to do the same salary. And so we emailed back. Somebody said it was an insult. It was. Email back. Unfortunately, I will not be able to come back to work for this company for this amount of money. Additionally, I think we're a little short-staffed in this area. We need a few more staff members in this area. And then, they took about a week or so and wrote back and said, unfortunately, Q, your numbers are a little higher than what we're able to do at this time. And, we may have to reconsider this at a later time. And I wrote back, thank you for thinking of me. As always, love, Quentin Latham. Okay. And that's where it started and stopped. But the moral of the story is, you can't hang your whatever in these networks. You just can't. All right. I have been in the independent space for 14 years. Okay. And this is probably where I'll stay. I love when people get mad at me. When some of y'all get mad at me in the comments, people love to do this thing where they say, oh, he just washed up. He's stuck on YouTube. He don't have what it takes to cross over. He can't hold. Oh, this is my favorite one. He can't hold down no real network job because he's difficult to work in all of these different things. Listen, I got fired from Sister Circle for being late to work because I went out partying the night before. Okay, there's the final truth, y'all. It finally came out. I got fired from Sister Circle because, bitch, I was down to the bar with a Honda Cosby and the show was live and them people was on air when my ass was in Uber. Okay, that's what happened with Sister Circle. Since I've healed from it, I can finally tell it. My ass was down to the bar with a Honda Cosby the night before. My alarm didn't go off, bitch. Okay, and I was in Uber on my way to Sister Circle, and I was like, I won't be there for the opening, but I'll be there by the first commercial. And Deborah Rapp just told me to turn around and go back home, that Helen Swenson will be giving me a call later on that afternoon. And when she called me, them people told me, thank me for my services, like Shawnee told Brandy Maxia. But quiet as it's kept, that old mammy-made ass piece of show, that show was so damn mammy-made anyway, and they had me tucked over there in the corner, paying me them little pieces of peanuts. It didn't feel good, but it worked out for my good, because if I'm being honest, Sister Circle just was not the best fit for me. But it was one of those things where I thought my life was over. I thought my life was over. Oh my God, this was my TV opportunity, and I blew it. And once upon a time, and once again, I had to lean on Funky Dneva. I'm gonna tell y'all one thing about that bitch Dneva. I'm gonna tell you one thing about that bitch. I will never abandon her. I will never abandon that bitch, because that's the bridge that brought me over. When I went through all that eviction stuff and drug stuff and I had hit rock bottom, I had to lean on that bitch. If y'all noticed, when I packed up my stuff and went to Miami, baby, I had to lean on that bitch. That's the bitch that brought me over. And ta-da, now I'm rich, okay? Moral of the story, Joy Ann, screw them networks. Lean on your own talent. Lean on it. So them bum, just to finish this up and tie it in a bow, and I guess we're gonna do a long show because we only 2 stories in. Just to combat that he can't hold down. No, this is a $1.5 million budget that I was solely responsible for, and this wasn't the only offer, and it still isn't the only offer. The problem for those of y'all, the problem that the networks are having with me, the problem that the networks are having with me is that they cannot compensate me adequately enough to control me. That's the problem. He can't get no mainstream job. That's why he just stuck over there on YouTube and it's drying up. The problem is they can't compensate me enough to give a damn. They can't compensate me enough to come in and be a yes, a massa, no, a massa. They can't compensate me enough to be like, oh, thank you so much for the job. I am so happy to be. They can't. And they don't like it and they don't know what to do with it. All right. That's the problem. So Joy, and somebody wrote, Q, you are so damn, you are full of yourself. I am. Robin M, this is not an insult. This is not an insult by any stretch of the imagination. And again, this is the level of thinking that the people in charge have, that I'm full of myself. I built this across 14 years. I think I had the right to be. I think I had a right to be. I'm full of what I built. I'm full of who I am. I'm full of what I contribute. I know that Funky Dneva became synonymous with Fox Soul, and when I walked away from that shit, it collapsed. I know my worth. I know my value. I know what I get paid every month to sit right here in my damn pajamas with no drawers on. I know what I get paid every month to sit right here in my pajamas with no drawers on, and I know I'm not finna compromise it to go be no slave over at no damn network, so I'm sitting there crying like Joy-Ann Reid at the end of the day. I'm full of myself. I'm full of Frederick Douglass self. I'm full of Nat Turner self. I'm full of Harriet Tubman self. I'm full of Maya Angelou self, my love. I am the hope and the dream of the slave, and I don't take that for granted. Now we finna move on. We finna move on. Now that we don't got some of the housekeeping out the way, and now that I'm feeling a little better, see that's really what I'm going through at 41. When I be having stuff balled up in me, it make me depressed. Now that I don't got this stuff out, I'm good to go, bitch. That's going back to that humble. Y'all always want somebody to be humble in order to make y'all feel good about yourself. How am I full of myself? By running down my resume. Robin S., in this space, I'm the shit. Robin S., for 14 years, I've done this and I'm still here. I'm the shit. I'm fab like this. And people like Robin S. or Robin M. are uncomfortable because they go sit on their job every day with a bald head manager that treat them like crap, and they have to sit up and take it because they need their little piece of job. And people like me who don't fit the mold upset their makeup and disturb their tears. Because deep down inside, Robin, what you wanted to write was, Q, I'm proud of you, and I wish I could navigate the world the same way you do. That's what you really wanted to write, but you ain't woman enough to be introspective enough to tell the truth. That's what you really wanted to write. Q, you found a way to not be a corporate slave, and I'm jealous and envious of it, and I wish I could do the same. That's what you wanted to write, Cubicle Fish. Moving right along. I always feel better after I get a bitch together. Damn, that I don't, baby. Somebody call Essence Magazine. I don't found the cure to depression, honey. I don't found the cure. Just get hoes together and you will feel better. Get hoes together and you will feel better. Come on, what she said now? What my girl said here. Hold on, my girl said something. Thank you, baby. I'ma get it, and when it's got, I'ma get some more. I'ma get it, and when it's got, I'ma get some more. Thank you, a boss Ange. Now, one other thing I want to bring up really quickly while I'm on here, because I joke, but I don't be really wanting y'all to be offended for real. I want y'all to know when I make my jokes and when I talk about cubicle fish, I am really talking to my old self, okay? I am talking to my old self when I was a miserable cubicle girl. Let me say this for y'all. If you are in a career that you love in your cubicle, you doing the damn thing, and you doing your calling and you happy and you taking care of your family, please don't be offended when I tell the cubicle fish joke. I am really talking to me. I was a miserable piece of cubicle fish, babe. I was old low down piece of canal catfish in Tennessee, baby. That's how low, that's how much of a piece of dirty cubicle fish I was. I hated it. I was miserable. The job was miserable. So when I talk about miserable cubicle fish, I am talking about myself. I am talking to my old self. I'm not talking about y'all personally or whatever, baby. I was old low down piece of polluted canal piece of cubicle fish, honey. Oh, nasty piece of catfish. What's lower than catfish, y'all? Is there anything out there that's lower than catfish? Let me know. Chris Gray say hotel front desk shrimp, but now it's got whiting, and the sad part about it is I actually love whiting. When you go to homecoming and all that, I love whiting. Mullet, baby. I was old perch. Oh, that perch be so flaky. I like mullet, baby. I was old nasty piece of polluted mullet out of Tennessee. Somebody said Detroit fish. Moving right along. So, I don't know how many of y'all are from Florida who follow Florida politics, but one of the largest things, what she say now, those that know ain't never offended, proud of you in real life, motivation to do the exam, to do the damn thing. Thank you so much, boss Ange. I don't know how many. Oh, somebody said that sway. Ooh, that sway fish is. Ooh, that sway fish is some. Miss Kenny loves sway. Is Miss Kenny in the thing? Miss Kenny loves sway fish. That's why she got that sway in her back and that booty in her stomach. She loves some sway fish. I don't know how many of y'all follow Florida politics, how many of y'all live in Florida, but all of the rebuttals to a lot of what Ron DeSantis is doing in Florida, pronounced swai, that swai fish. We from Miami, bitch. It's sway. A lot of the rebuttals to things people have to say to Ron DeSantis is, and the property taxes is still high. Or they say, or he doing all of this and the homeowner's insurance is still high, right? Like he's doing everything except what the residents of Florida want. Now, all of a sudden, in response to all the criticism that he's been getting about the exorbitant amount of property taxes and the exorbitant cost of property insurance in Florida, now all of a sudden he is calling for a proposal to end property taxes in the state of Florida. And before I even play this video, I am here to let these easily swayed people know, do not fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Florida does now. This when I went down to Florida State University and got my degree in economics, some people taught me everything about budgets, numbers, statistics, trends, and all of that. Florida is one of the states in the United States. We don't have a state tax. We do not have a state tax. Therefore, a lot of the money that would be generated from a state tax is generated from property taxes. And at the end of the day is going to end. If they don't get the money from you by way of property taxes, they're going to get it from you by way of another tax. So do not fall for this crap that this man is up here talking about. Take a listen.
Their citizens to higher taxes, such as higher property taxes, to pay for these spending habits. And these property taxes, it's like you buy a home, you buy land, maybe you buy the home outright, but maybe you pay off a mortgage over 30 years. And then, okay, you've paid off the mortgage, you bought the land, you've been taxed many times. It's like, is it your property or not? Just for being on your property, you got to write a check to the government every year. So you're basically paying rent to the government to live on your own property. And our homestead exemption is not strong enough to help these folks because the property gets assessed so high. And that's the thing. If you buy a home for $300,000 and there's certain tax, well, then what? 10 years later, they say it's worth $700,000. And so, and they say, there's homestead stuff that helps protect you to a certain extent, but you're paying more. And a lot of people can't afford that. So I think that that's a big issue. And I know we're going to be really looking at ways to bring people relief from that, because I think it's been really something that's pinching a lot of homeowners, particularly seniors on fixed income. But the reality is people have seen, and this is not the state, we don't control this, we've not allowed any of that stuff to happen. We've been cutting taxes, but people have seen their property tax.
So again, people like Ron DeSantis, the current Republican Party, and this president, they do a number on appealing to people's fears and taking advantage of people's miseducation. Because the reality of the situation, and this is speaking to somebody who's a Florida resident, who held a real estate license in Florida, who's got a degree in economics, who knows people in business and in real estate down there. The system actually works fine. The system works perfectly fine in the 80s, in the 90s, and in the early 2000s. Our parents, our grandparents, our aunts and uncles, and our neighbors in Florida, they were not talking about property taxes. It was not an issue because property was appreciating at a reasonable rate of 2 to 3% a year. People's finances and salaries and life goals were trending positively and upward at the same rate in which their house was appreciating. So yes, my house might have went up 3% in value, but I also got a 2% cost of living raise, and my wife actually got promoted or whatever the case may be. And so, yes, our property tax bill was a little higher than the 3 years before, but it wasn't so high that we couldn't pay, and it wasn't so high that it was noticeable. The problem with Florida and a lot of other places, particularly Miami, is that y'all have allowed rich oligarchs from other countries, y'all have allowed corporations to come in and either take over markets or hide their riches in real estate in Florida. And it has astronomically and disproportionately driven up property taxes. Therefore, the average person cannot afford. What am I talking about? I lived on Miami Beach these last 7 years, and I was there. And let me break it down to y'all in a way that you can understand. I wish my friend Larnette Glenn was on the line right now, because she stayed even deeper in the beach, and she would tell you, when we would be riding up and down Collins and Indian Creek, you would look at all of these multi-million-dollar buildings. There'd be 30-story buildings. And of 30 stories, on every single story, the lights was off, except for 1 or 2 units on each floor. So one would say to the other person, how is it possible that people buying $3 million units and don't even live there? Easily. Here is what was happening. Foreign investors needed to hide their money from their governments, okay? They needed to hide their money from their governments. So what is one of the safest ways to hide cash? Sink it into real estate. So I'm going to just use simple math. We got a condo building now where the units normally go for, let's just say, $400,000. They normally go for $400,000. But I am the Chinese billionaire and I need to hide my money. So there is some unscrupulous real estate agent that's in cahoots that will list a $400,000 unit for $800,000. And because I need to hide $1 million, I bring that cash and I buy that unit, even though that unit is not worth that. So then what happens? So if you're just Susie Q and Johnny M, the school teacher and the police officer, because I love to use those two professions as the everyday American. If you are the school teacher and the police officer, you bought your unit for $400, but it's somebody on your floor that just sold a unit for $8. Now what happens? You list your unit for $810. Another foreign investor comes in. They buy it for $810. Now your building has comps going for $800,000 to $1 million for units that ain't worth nothing but $400,000. And now so now your building, because you had $800,000 sales in your $400,000 building, now every building in the area, it created higher comps. So now every building in the area now wants to double the price of their unit, and every foreign investor is like, oh crap, I can go hide $1.5 million legally in Florida in a building. But then what happens is Susie Q and Johnny M, who are normal everyday Americans, they get assessed property taxes. And the new artificial value of the units is $800,000 to $1 million when they're really only $400,000 units. And now, because the sales records support that these units are $1 million units, now Susie Q and Johnny M are assessed property taxes at a $1 million basis when the unit is only worth $400,000. So that's one of the ways it's happened. The second way that things have happened, companies like BlackRock and others have come in, built entire subdivisions, It made them rental units. Zillow has come in because these corporations have tax shelters and all these corporate benefits. They can come in, buy up dilapidated homes, buy up homes for more than what they're worth, take the loss at the end of the year on their taxes, and before you know it, a corporation owns an entire neighborhood, and now they control the market. So Ron DeSantis, we don't have a true property tax problem in Florida. Just like we don't have a property tax problem in Texas. I see y'all saying it in Philly and a lot of these other places. We don't have, the system works perfectly fine. But if you was bad as you said you was, you'd address the root cause. Now, let me tell you one thing where Canada got very progressive. And all of y'all out there in Canada, I need y'all to let me know if I'm flying or if I'm lying. Canada saw a rise in foreign investment driving up and artificially inflating their real estate. Excuse me. Canada put a multi-year moratorium on foreign investment. If you were not a citizen of Canada, you were not allowed to come in and sink money into their market and drive up their market. The United States needs to do the same damn thing, but we'll never do it. We'll never do it. We will never do it. So one last thing. Oh, I love giving a little piece of economics lesson. So somebody put in here, take away property taxes. Okay, well, we take away property taxes, we take away funding for all things public. Okay, public school, police, fire, road construction, all of those things. The state has been accustomed to operating with an operating budget of this. Do you honestly think the state is going to go from operating on this to this? They're going to tax you somewhere else by way of a state tax, a higher sales tax, a tax over here, a tax over there. The money is still going to come out your pocket. One way or another. They're going to call it a property tax. They're going to call it sales tax. They're going to call it state tax. What we paying right now is what we're going to continue to pay. One thing Donald Trump said that I 100% agree with. After he tricked y'all ass and got into office because y'all was voting for groceries, after he tricked y'all ass and got in office, then he said, well, it's going to be kind of challenging to get the cost of groceries to go down because once things get high, they never really come back down. That's the God honest truth, baby. Listen, there will not be homeowners, spenders. There will not be a world. You will not see a world where what you're paying now, things are going to go down. You're not going to see that world. So the only thing you can hope for is that you, your family, you figure out how to meet your financial obligations where they are. The only thing you can hope for is that they don't go any higher. But once things go up, they do not come back down. Okay? I ain't never stayed at no rent complex when you come to the office and them hoes give you a letter and they say your rent going up this year. And then the next year you go back down there and they be like, oh, the market feel good. We finna go down on your rent, $300. No, them hoes keep you right there where you at. When it's up, then it's stuck. Who said that? When it's up, then it's stuck. Nevertheless, child, 1, 2, 3, child, it's 9 o'clock. We only did 3 stories. I guess we gonna be here till 11 o'clock tonight. Y'all just want to be here till 11 o'clock? Or y'all want me to roll this thing up? Y'all want me to drop this shit and roll with it and roll it to tomorrow? We only 3 stories in. Let me see if I can, oh, Boss Ange. Ange, you the realest bitch. You more realer than reality. F that dumb. It take nothing to a casualty. FBI be after me. Quarter key and my woman Lee. Coming back from St. Croix. First lady to Pastor Troy. Even I'm a Georgia boy. Cause war I'm ready, Jay. All you gotta say is with a nigga hanging there. Driving like a maniac. Sensing all by myself. What's it, mother? And whoever else, you the realest B-Boss Edge and spending all the money. All the money. Not only is this show entertaining, but if you listen closely, your intellect will be fed, enlightened, elevated, educated, man. I ain't going nowhere, Edge. I was made for this. No, they weren't voting for groceries. They was voting against the black lady. Pretty black girl, you absolutely right. Pretty black girl, I'm going to tell you the truth. The only reason I clicked yours because it said $4.99 and I thought it had said $49.99 like Edges on. My dyslexia just kicked in. Moving right along, guys. I don't know if this makes things better or worse for y'all, but that wasn't cocaine Marcus Jordan had. It was ketamine. Does that make it better for y'all? Does it being ketamine? Lord, okay, now Big Ange. Oh, this Mandingo Empire. I thought this was Big Ange. Funky, can you please share our baby shower and gender? I will pay. Email me at funkydyneva@funkydyneva.com. Email me so I can see what all you got going on. Does it make it better for y'all that it's ketamine and not cocaine? So, y'all know I don't never mind giving y'all a life lesson. I have done ketamine twice in my life. I did ketamine this 7-year stint that I just did in Miami. I never forget this Spanish boy named Mike. We was in the bathroom. And he said, Q, you want to try some K? And I was like, well, I mean, quiet as it's kept, I don't stuck every damn thing else up my damn nose. I mean, sure, why not? And I said, well, bitch, you go first. Let me see how you do it or whatever. So, you know, he did it or whatever. I'm finna tell y'all all my business, okay? I'm finna tell y'all all my business. And so, I was like, what it do? Like, how it make you feel? And he was like, I mean, just try it. Now, listen, I ain't telling people to do drugs. But if ever you do, baby, you start with the smallest portion. Tell them hoes ration you. We gonna talk about this. Funky, you discussed Greg abuse. We gonna talk about it. Tell them hoes ration you. For the girls that want to know what is a bump is when you take your key and you stick it in the powder. And it's the small little portion at the end of the key. That's a bump, okay? Or when Fish take her fingernail and stick her nail in the bag and you get a little bit of powder up under that nail, that's a bump, okay? If ever you gonna stick any kind of powder up your nose, start with a half a bump. Cause you don't know if them girls don't put that fentanyl in there and you don't want to die. Okay? Now, if you don't die after about 15, 20 minutes, then you good. Okay? Then you good. Then you go down to the bathroom with them girls and you bump down, bitch, and just be feeling fab like this to the party. And I mean, just be spread it. And then you go home and have any sex, any kind of sex with any kind of man, married, single, trans. You do as many bumps as you want. Do all the liquor and have as many kind of sexes as you want. But you gotta wait till you, okay? Daughter, what I said. Daughter, you do a half a bump first. If you don't know these people and you don't know where they got this stuff from, and if you ain't dead in 20 minutes, then go ahead and get your life, and when it's got, get some more. And then if you die, you just got to get it in the afterlife. But nevertheless, so I said, Mike, I said, what this do? He said, Q, man, just do it. So I said, okay. I said, well, give me a bump. Let me tell y'all something. That boy gave me a bump. He gave me a bump of that ketamine. And I said, never again will I do this stuff. No, ma'am. Baby, I came out that bathroom. I sat down on the stool like this. Baby, the stool ain't have no bike. I had to hold the seat part of the stool like this. Cause baby, the room was hula hooping. The room was hula hooping. And I was trying my hardest not to fall off that stool. Okay? People was talking, but they was talking in pastel colors, if that makes sense. The people was talking in pastel colors. All I heard was, listen to what I'm telling y'all. I was hearing colors. The people was talking like Charlie Brown, and every time they talked, colors was just looping around the room. It was just hula hooping all like me. And I was like this. And I was like, okay, God. If I make it out of this, I'm not gonna do this again. And when you be on them drugs like that, when you overthink, it'll make you die. So I was like, Q, you just gotta ride this out and let your body metabolize this real quick. And I sat there for about 20 minutes. And then finally, it went away. And I said, all right, I'm not doing that again. And then about a month or two later, so they call that ketamine. Now they call it CK when you mix ketamine and coke. They call that CK or Calvin Klein. So Mike called me to the bathroom again about 2 months later. And he said, Q, you want some? You should do it with the coke. Here I go. Just ain't get enough of it the first time. I said, well, I know what the coke do. So I said, oh, mixing it. You want me to mix it? You want me to stir it up? You want me to mix it? Girl, I must have been full I must have been full of the good Hennessy that night. That's when I used to drink Hennessy down bad. I said, well, stir it up, there, bitch. I said, stir it up. But this time, I did a regular bumper coat. And I said, but just put a little bit with it. Just put a little bit. Baby, I had to did that thing. I had came at that bathroom, bitch. Bitch, I had felt like Tootie. I felt like Tootie from Facts of Life. You take the good, you take the bad, the facts of life. The facts of life, baby. I got the stuff that you want. I got the things that you need. I got more than enough to bring you down to your knees. Because I'm the queen of the night. Queen of the night. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Baby, I was the queen of the night, honey. Baby, that stuff had me. And then I got off drugs. I said, no, ma'am. I got off them drugs, y'all. I had got off them drugs. I had done got off them drugs. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. And here's the funny thing. People always ask me, you know what, y'all? I really don't know where the hell this show went tonight. And I don't care. It's 11,000 y'all in the chat. So clearly we having a good time. Y'all, we just gonna keep on going till I don't feel like going because I don't know where the hell this show went tonight. Somebody say Mark is back there judging me. Right. He like, girl, you right here spraying me to the blog. And girl, you got all this going on. So here is what's funny, guys. Y'all know I've never done mushrooms for real before. Oh no, I did a little piece, but I'm scared. And I know it ain't gonna make. So somebody said, is Mike okay? Mike ended up cutting off his finger. Mike ended up cutting off his finger in a sliding glass door. So I don't know if Mike good or not anymore or whatever, because none of us know Mike no more. He disappeared, but he ended up cutting off his finger in a sliding glass door. Probably was on them 2 powders. He probably was on them 2 powders. And then let's just tell you my wishes that we still going to eat. Somebody, where you go home still. Okay. I think we finna go eat. If I get off the line, it's gonna be Tamar's fault because I think she want to go eat. So I've never done shrooms before for real, because I'm scared. Everybody always be talking about, oh, if you do shrooms, you need to be around a good group of people so you don't have a bad trip and all this type of stuff. Okay. She say she done where we meeting. Or whatever. So let me move on because I think I'm finna have to go eat. Oh, we almost through everything. We got 3 more stories. So y'all, I want to luckily them drugs didn't kill me out. So I didn't have to scrum in my pain with his finger. And y'all helped me out because I never truly knew what that lyric was. Scrumming my pain with his finger. Scrumming my pain. Singing my life. What is she saying? Scrumming my pain. Oh, strumming. Okay, so strumming my pain with his finger, singing my life with his song. Let me interpret that. Strumming my pain with his finger. So making the guitar interpret my pain. Okay. Singing my life with his song. Oh, that's beautiful metaphorically. Y'all talking about strumming. Scrumming sound better. Scrumming my pain. Y'all like Roberta Flack version better, or y'all like Lauryn Hill version better? Put Roberta in the chat if you like Roberta. Put late in the chat if you like Lauryn Hill better. Shouts out to all 11,000 of y'all in the chat. Late. They like late Lauren. Nevertheless, y'all, here's the thing. We got all this money. We got all this money left over from the Kamala Harris election fund. We gotta we got all this money, y'all. I gotta get off the line because we gotta go eat, and the restaurant closed at 10. But we got all this money from the thing, and I would just let Lauryn Hill and the Fugees do a reconnection concert down to her thing or whatever, but she probably not gonna show up. So this is what we gonna do. We gonna pick up Roberta in the morning on the Mars show so we can figure out what we gonna do with the flame. But we finna go all out because we ain't really did no nasty fumes at the top of the year. We gonna go all out, and then that's what's that on that. But I gotta get off the line, y'all, because the restaurant closed at 10. It's 9:12. I still gotta put some clothes on. I gotta go pick her up. Thank y'all so much. I know the top of the show was heavy. Y'all, you know, I'm effed up right now. Like, this depression got a hold of me and it won't turn me loose. I'm probably going to be crazy for the next 2 weeks or so. And just work with me. All right. Just work with me and we're gonna have it all going on. I'll call y'all later. Bye.